In this video, I'm going to talk about the twin flames connection, twin flames journey, and all the things that deal with love, because that's what everybody kind of sees twin flame, twin souls about love, meeting that person. So we're going to talk about all that and just the experience of life. And I'm going to give you different concepts to help you as well. Because sometimes people just see it one way, but we're just one planet filled with a lot of different people in a very, very big universe, and then we have different worlds, different dimensions. So you have to see how all that ties in. It can't just be where's my twin or how's my. You gotta understand how you fit in a whole concept, the whole journey fits in with everything else. So I'm gonna try to give it to you in that way. Who's ever really listening? And I've learned a lot out here. I'm very humbled. I thank a lot of people that listen, benefiting from the information and things like that. Uh, I'm finally getting to the touchy feely part because I've been really just going into this forest. I wanted to go into this forest and cut down what I thought were misconceptions and misideas and people making comments that they couldn't prove. So I just took it all on to come and do my best to change it. But always wanting to help people. I've been doing that for many, many years. So that's what I've been trying to do. So I never really wanted to get touchy feely about it. But tonight I want to get touchy feely. I want to talk about love, talk about the whole journey, uh, the negative aspects of the twin flame uh, journey and separation that might be positive aspects. I think we live in wonderful times. Uh, Everything is divine timing, whether you believe it or not. But even like, we didn't have YouTube 15 years ago, I don't think. We didn't have YouTube 20 years ago. So, like people that were really special, like guys like me. And what I mean by special, I don't mean in a good way, but people that could see things that everybody couldn't see and all that. We had it bad because, they hated us. Nobody believed us. Our family thought we were nuts. So, but then, with YouTube, you can get it on camera and you can do research, and online you could do videos where you could put the links right there or in the description box, and the people can be right with you. So the people that are really interested, or people that once they begin to see it, see the proof, they start to wake up. So you're able to do a lot with YouTube. So that's why I encourage everybody. It's your opportunity. Like I believe in really free speech. I don't think you should hide emotions, especially when you're teaching. And I've always saw a different world. I see a world of people getting along and not the crazy stuff we do to each other in third dimension. So I want to give these concepts of twin flame as well, and just tell you a few things. And I'm far away from it now, so I'm more healing. I think the universal healing, and I'm starting to see things totally different. Whereas when I was in that situation, I was too close. It was a lot of pain, and you're going through the why phase, like why me, and you know, yada yada yang. You got to heal through all of that. So I've come to learn that you may not fully agree, but even when you see like people doing like Archangel cards and stuff like that, they generally know what they're talking about. And even when the universe does stuff, it kind of knows what it's talking about. But sometimes we're not ready. And also, there's a greater plan. Like sometimes you'll go through a situation that you weren't meant to connect at that time, even though it looks like you were. Like the angel cards kept telling you you're gonna meet, your horoscope kept telling you you're gonna meet, your dreams kept telling you you're gonna meet, and the universe used to put me next to my twin every day. It was always that way. It was even times when I would literally go, I want to see her, I want to talk to her, and they would make sure I'd get up and walk, and she'd be right over there, right where I was walking. So did that many times. So so I'm trying to just explain the twin flame journey, but it's just different ways. It's not all about soul unions and soul contracts and past life. So with me, I always had that that intuition, and I've always had that survivor intuition. Like I can always tell when I'm not feeling a certain way. I'm not saying I'm always right, but I can always get that feeling like this doesn't feel right. Now I've always followed my heart, which I know you can get yourself in a lot of trouble doing that. And even for people that study the Bible, it tells you about people that follow their heart or people that are in want of heart, meaning they make decisions based on emotions, uh, which can lead to bigger problems if they're inexperienced. But I was here long enough, and there are people that are sent here. There are such things as earth angels, and just people that are sent here, and you could just tell by how they talk, what they believe, what they're into. Um, so these things go down, and like some people, they may not know at the time, but they kind of know like they're sent for a reason. Like somebody like Tupac Shakur, he was sent for a reason. He was at he was 17 years old talking about feeding the homeless and stuff like that. So he wasn't the average dude. And when he had the opportunity to really make a lot of money, even though he was selling you that thug music, he was still talking about feeding the poor. Or even if he was doing it on the DL, he was still talking about social issues and stuff like that. So he never really betrayed that. If you want to be honest, you could sit there. Like it's easy to just say negative and bad stuff about people, but he always, was known as being some type of different type of dude. Like this dude is talking about stuff that nobody else is talking about: government corruption, racism, social injustice. Why don't we feed the homeless? Why don't we give the homeless? So he was not. So he was sent, and we can't have a limited knowledge. That's what I try to teach out here. You can't have a not limited knowledge. Stop judging people. You're not God. You don't know why people are put in that position. So So what I'm saying is a bigger picture, and it's the biggest mistake people make is when all like, oh, where's my twin? And right away over there, they answer, oh, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go, and they run through the whole world looking for something that may never happen. Because you see a lot of people out here that were with the twin flame stuff, and they never really got to that part of union, not yet. And even you had one people out here that did, they were union, they were living together, and then they went back into separation. And I got a friend, he goes into union, separation, union, separation. So that's why I said we slow down a little bit, talk a little bit, um, use a little honesty, and figure out what the heck's going on. You may get in union and stay in union. So that's why I'm always willing to talk about anything that'll make a situation better than it is. Um, so like I said, me, I knew I was here for a reason, but I knew that when I was little. Like a lot of Earth Angels, when they come here, they know they're here for a reason. Like I knew I was here for a reason, and my first 20 or something years, I learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes because when you're 20, you go out in the real world, you're just becoming an adult, and you're going out in the real world, and you're thinking these people out in the real world are going to help you and show you, and you're listening to these, and they're the most egotistical. They'll set you up, they'll use you, they'll exploit you. But so that's from 20 to 25, or maybe 28 or so, maybe 30. You learn the real deal of the planet. And it's sad because if you try to talk about it, people, oh, you're negative, or that's not the way it is. But it really is. And deep down, most of those people know that, but a lot of people just play the game. But that's why your relationships don't work, whether it's twin flame or not, because you haven't learned how to be truthful. So you just lie to each other. If you ain't happy, you're gonna say you are happy. If somebody didn't satisfy you, you're gonna say they did satisfy you. You're just gonna take the easy way out, and then you just go find it from somebody else and hope you don't get caught. So so when you bring those same third dimensional tendencies into a twin flame situation, uh, that's one of the reasons why separation. 'Cause. 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 ' You have to have some type of real communication, real commitment, real compromise, real working together, things like that. So so I'm going to be talking about the love aspect, and that's going to be the most important part I talk about, the love aspect, and that is going to be the main event. So if you've made it this far, do not miss when I start talking about the love aspect, because that's what's going to keep your relationships together. So a lot of people don't believe in the Bible, and I'm not here to preach, but I'm here to tell you the truth. See, there's a difference between a soul and a spirit. There's a difference between moon reincarnation and solar ascension. And a lot of people don't like this gentleman, but I want to give the man his credit because he said some very honest stuff. But he said that because of the situation of so-called the serpent, which if you study, everybody talks about the serpent wherever you go. And the deeper you get into metaphysics and stuff like that, you're going to hear about serpents and kundalini. Even your whole back spine is like a serpent. So you can't get away from it. So you can't sit there and go, oh, that's stupid. That's silly Bible stuff. No, that's kind of realistic. But so the gentleman teaches that whatever happened, humans are connected to that serpent energy. But when you ascend, because this is it's in John chapter 3. Like John chapter 3 talks about the night, the serpents, and then it talks about the Son of God ascending, being lifted up, being the greater serpent. Because that's what happened with Moses and Pharaoh. Moses threw his serpent down, the greater serpent. Pharaoh threw his serpents down, but Moses' serpent ate Pharaoh's serpents. So you can't get away from it. So what I'm saying is, like people that know this stuff, spiritual information, they say, watch who you make a soul tie with. Don't go around talking about somebody's your soul partner or your soul mate and stuff. Because if that person doesn't ascend, you end up going wherever they go because you made a soul contract with that person. So you got to be really careful if that's a deception. And I always use that to wake people up. Now, I'm not saying it's good or bad. That's not the point of this video. I'm trying to give you a full, comprehensive message of the twin flame journey and love and just everything. So I think what happens to some people, the reason why they don't connect with their twin no matter what, it's not just because that is the stages of twin flame, your twin flame journey. You are supposed to come together, break up, separate, hurt each other, maybe get back together, separate again, and whatever until so it has to do with something healing and stuff like that. It's a universal thing, has a lot to do with past lives, soul ties, karmic debt, a lot of stuff. And then ironically, some people say in this lifetime you two will eventually end up together. Then other people say, well, maybe not in this lifetime. You might only meet each other in this lifetime and in another lifetime. So I don't know. And that's why, because I've been walking, I know about the spirit realm and everything. I've been walking there a long time, and they challenge you all the time. That's why even when you say, oh, I'm a Christian, oh, Christian test, and you go, oh, the devil's doing this to me. Well, that comes with the universe. You're going to go through tests. Excuse me. And after a while, you will get used to it. That's called growing up, too. You don't have to get bitter. That's why I said people let me teach. A lot of times I'm teaching, I'm just taking you through the situation with emphatic teaching, emotions. But some people can't take it because they're so immature, so they just leave. And they're so silly because you're still going to face that sooner or later. What are you going to do when you get into a separation or argument with your twin? You don't know how to do it in reality. Because I know for a fact, if I had been my old personality, I would have had my twin in shape. I mean, she already wanted to be with me. I didn't understand. I didn't even know what a twin flame was. I was running from her. But every time I kind of told her about herself, she would try to shape up. But I was just really back then. I was so well. First off, I had a really my heart pressure was really high, and I was really out. I was just totally messed up. That was the last thing on my mind, being in union with anybody. Like I just didn't. I was sick of everything. I'm not even gonna lie. So I thank God. I thank God. I thank everybody that's been out here listening, and I thank people for allowing me the privilege of looking at the charts and stuff. But all that did help change me to now I'm like really chilly willy now. Like I just chill back and look at the whole thing like, it's just chilly willy. Cause you don't know, it's a great thing. Like everybody has something they want to do in life. With me, it was just like bring true knowledge, help change the world, which I really feel like I did. And just wake people up. For me, that's the greatest thing in the world. Because that's why I feel like that's my life purpose. That's why I was sent. That's my soul mission. That's how I always felt. So because I've been through so much and I know how people can't be trusted and they will betray you. I'm not into that. Oh wow, she's staring at me. Oh wow, she looks good. Oh wow, let me get her phone number. Oh maybe we could hook up. None of that matters to me no more. Like I've done that so many times and there's no real integrity there and nothing really there. So when you meet this person, you know, and you don't even know what a twin flame is, so that's what it is. And you're kind of hoping this person just goes away because I needed medical attention that I wasn't getting because I had to get the pressure down, and that took a long time to do that because I went years without seeing a doctor. And I think I'm only alive probably because of the grace of God, to be honest with you. And then you still got to just be ready for that, and I really was not ready for none of that. I mean, because I always knew, like I always felt like I had something to do. Like, and I've been doing like running for decades, like literally running, moving fast for decades because I felt like I had a mission that I was not getting to do. And like I've been doing this for a long time because you will, like my brother-in-law tells me, Gary, I thought you were crazy. You used to try to talk to me, I didn't understand what you were saying. He said, but the moment I started trying to be more spiritually conscious of the world around me, he said all hell broke loose. And you'll see it if you ever try it. A lot of people don't believe in it, and some people are just scared because they don't want the drama, so they don't want to be more spiritually conscious. That's why they just go, "Where's my twin? Just give me something to make me happy, twin flame or a drug or anything to make me happy, alcohol, party, and music," because they really don't want to deal with the real stuff. They just want to stay in the matrix. So how I look at this is, you said why did they come then and why this and why that? Because at the end of the day, it wasn't meant to. And if this is some type of soul contract, maybe we already knew that. Like she already, because she wanted and is living the whole wife thing and the whole uh children thing. I didn't want that. I mean, at one time I did, go back in the 80s or something. But once I saw how fucked up this planet is and just everything, you can't even work because you got some idiots trying to destroy the economy for some crazy stuff. Like, it wasn't nothing wrong with our economy. They did that on purpose, just like they did the towers on purpose. All this stuff is stuff they do on purpose. So when I began to see how corrupt this planet was, I was like, oh hell no. It's just my nature. Y'all have to understand. Well. First off, not a militant like on this planet, but I'm from military. Like even people to watch me, they say, you ever been in the military? Not on this planet, but yeah. So I'm a survivalist by nature, and always been that way. So once I saw this planet will set you up to kill you, and I watch how they do it, and it's sad because you could actually die for loving. That's the worst mistake. Like I said, that my father died of a heart attack, but he really died of a broken heart. his biggest mistake was he loved other people more than he loved himself. And I sat there and watched the hell he went through for being a good guy. And it finally drove him crazy. So I said, that'll never happen to me. And I didn't even understand that was planned until I saw his natal chart. And I got a video on his channel about it. But his natal chart was perfectly written out to make sure I would learn from that. And even when I say I'm on Coeli in the 4th house, and I say it's usually the mother, but it's him too. Because it's all in your subconscious mind. Oh no, I'll never let that happen to me. And then my brother-in-law recently told me, because he's going through something right now, where he's waking up spiritually. And he said, your father, he said, you and your father went through a whole lot, and blah, blah, blah. And he said, the reason why you're so strong is because you had your father as a role model, learning from him. And it was funny why he said that, because while he said that, I was just learning that from the universe. Because the universe brought me information, an article I wrote a long time ago, like years ago. And I was saying the same thing in that article that he was saying. So the universe was trying to show me that really your father, he actually took a bullet for you. Because I would have to go through all that hell he went through. So when you study your natal charts and do all that stuff I'll be trying to tell you out here, that's what's important, not where your twin is. The truth of the matter is, if you did your job and did your part, that twin thing would be easy. That would have been easy. Because like I said, she was ready from day one. So the journey is not as hard. And I know a lot of females that are waiting on a guy to get his act together. So you got to learn the truth. So that's why if you're listening, I'm glad you're listening, because I'm trying to help. But it's not running to somebody that makes you feel a certain way. You got to have steps and procedures, do's and not to do's. And that's why I said, for me, I don't care. Like this silly stuff now, I've been on this planet long enough. So I don't care if somebody's saying some crazy stuff about me, because it's usually not true. And it's the same thing I've been seeing for decades, because the moment that stuff goes to like a courtroom or some type of hearing, there's always rules in my favor. Because when I show up, I'm showing up with evidence. I could give a freak less about who said this and who cares. I can say anything. I can say, hey, I'm the most handsome man in the world. But we know that's not true. So you can say whatever you want to, but when you deal with somebody that knows how, that's why real people say paperwork. That's how you know you're dealing with real people. They say the word paperwork because they've already been through all the drama. And they know what they better have if they plan on winning. So for me, when I met my twin, it took me through a ringer. It hurt me. It confused me. It did everything to me. Because I began to open up the door to let her in. At first, I wouldn't let her in at all. But they made sure. Because like the universe was like using her to make me open up the door. Just because I got that little superhero complex. Danzo in distress and all that. So they were just playing me out. But looking back, I'm glad they did it. Because I really wasn't, And even with a female at work that I was kind of attracted to, and then the universe or whoever set me next to her, and it almost started out that I almost went back to being that little flirtatious Leo that I used to be, and I had to catch myself. I really had to, one minute I'm almost going back to the old me, and then the next minute I'm grabbing the Bible and reading the Bible, and I know she looked at me like, oh, this dude, he's a nut job or something. Like one minute he's almost like starting to flirt with me, and the next minute he's reading the Bible. But I was glad I did that, because it just ain't me no more. Like, I'm glad. So with the twin, it was a whole nother thing. Like I said, I didn't know what a twin was and all that. And the universe began teaching me what a twin flame was and all that. But even then, my whole thing was, we'll talk. And then, this person's indigo child, sensitive, and they're not going to talk unless you make them feel a certain way and all that. And I'm like, here we go with this bullshit again. Because it's the same stuff I've been hearing. They just call it a different thing. But it's the same BS on this planet. It's always some type of test or some type of matrix. Some type of, I done seen it too often. And like all you got to do right now is go to Angel Star Creations. I think that's her channel. And I just did a video about her so you could see it. I just did it yesterday. But here's a woman that went through that whole process, same process I'm talking about. Didn't know what a twin flame was, learned, didn't want nothing to do with it, tried the best to get away from her, blah, 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 blah. So she finally submits to the universe, and she finally submits to her twin and says, I'm here for you, I'm available for you, I'm committed to you. And they still don't get together. And I'm not putting nobody down. I'm saying you guys gotta learn how to be more mature and just listen. Doesn't mean your world's gonna end. I'm only saying different circumstances. Every circumstance is not gonna be the same for every person. But I'm trying to, for people that are listening. Cause like I said, I'm still on point. I still do my natal charts. I still do my angel card readings. I'm still on point. But it's not defining me, and nor is it defining Angelica of Angel Creations. And now she has a new channel because she doesn't talk about twin flames on that new channel. But maybe one day she will. Who knows? It just all depends. So, like I said, I went through that situation, and I'm trying to show you what I learned from it, though, because I learned a lot of stuff from it. So that's how it was with me and her. Despite everything that went down, I was like, talk. How would you expect somebody to take you seriously if you don't talk? And so, like I said, it went that way. It went that way. And like I said, uh, it's weird because I say I know her, but I really don't know her because I only work with her, but we never talk. We see each other a lot, made a lot of eye contacts and stuff, but we never really held a real conversation. But from the way we did each other, I would never totally count out her coming actually to where I live. I would never fully count that out. As crazy as that sounds, I'm not saying she would, but I would never count that out because she's done some things I would have never thought she did, but she did do it. And or the universe, you just go out somewhere and she'll be there or whatever. I mean, it could happen, but at the end of the day, she has to get past the not wanting to say anything, just staring at you when you're talking to her, and just the crazy stuff she did. So it would have to be she'd have to learn how to be an honest person because she wasn't honest about it, and she'd have to have a little bit more maturity, which she didn't have at that time. So like I said, so that situation wasn't going nowhere. So whatever decisions I made were the correct ones, because that couldn't go nowhere because she's gonna keep lying and lying and stuff like that. And what she is looking for, like I guess she's looking for somebody to just sweep her off her feet. Is like for me, it gotta work both ways because too many times I've done that sweeping off the feet and it still didn't go nowhere. So I'm a different dude. Like it's total like I would pursue a totally different type of person now. Would have to be a little bit more maturity there. Would have to understand the dynamics of a relationship is we. Even the word die means two. Not me sweeping you off your feet and then you deciding whether you nah, that just never worked out. So that's called growing up and a little bit more maturity. And it's not, like I said, it's not a bad thing. The only thing that was bad about that situation was she was lying and she wouldn't communicate. So that's what made everything horrible. But God was good because even though I was made out to be a nut job, a stalker, and all this other stuff, because she's lying, when it got to, like I said, when it got to the higher authorities, I had my paperwork or whatever, and everything ruled in my favor. And now that I've been away from the situation for months, I can look back at it where it's not that big of a deal. And then, like I said, the universe with God made sure my bills was paid and stuff like that. And I began to learn, see life differently. And in the Bible, they talk about the twins, uh, Esau and Jacob. At one point, Esau wanted to kill Jacob. But as years went by, and Esau, the universe continued to bless him, God continued to bless him, he had no reason to be mad because even though he didn't get his birthright because his brother stole it from him, he still got basically essentially what the birthright entails, which is riches and things like that, prosperity. So he had no reason to kill his brother no more. So you had no reason to be angry because the angels and the universe will take that away if you let it go. Because that's the worst mistake you can make, is to stay angry. You gotta understand this is universal. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than her. So again, what I'm trying to say is it was many times that we just could never hook up. But I always felt like it was a bigger picture. Like, and I keep trying to say, like, a soul connection is a soul connection, I feel. And you'd have to understand, moon reincarnation is a person dies, um, their soul is sucked up to the moon, swiped clean of its memory, and sent back to Earth. Now you can read about that on YouTube. Moon reincarnation, moon soul reincarnation. But solar ascension is you going back to source. And that's why in your Bible you have them calling Jesus the Son, SUN in Malachi 40, SUN the Sun, the Eastern Star, the East Star, which is the sun, the Day Star, which is the sun, the Morning Star, which is the sun, because he represents solar ascension. And he says, no one comes to the Father but through me. So when people are in this world and they take oaths or allegiances to this world, which puts them really never going to heaven. But when they repent and they accept this Son, even if they don't understand the metaphysics of Christianity or the mysteries that they talk about in Matthew chapter 13, that's what happens. And I think what happens a lot of times, because people don't understand that, because you see it in scripture a lot. Like, the scripture tells you to be very careful. Because, like, with twin flames, a lot of times it is highly sexual. Because it's coming out the eighth house, and that's the primordial house, the basic house, the animalistic house. And that's why a lot of twin flames, they have great sex, but they don't have no integrity, don't have no commitment. Because if you had integrity and commitment and communication, then you would have that. You would have a more longer term relationship. But because it's primordial, desires of the eyes, just like the Garden of Eden, desires of the eyes and all that. Oh, you want to touch, you want to hug, you want to kiss, and blah blah blah. And then you do that a few times, you get sick of it or whatever, and then you don't want no part of it. So you go into separation. So what I'm saying, if a person has made that commitment to the Messiah, that's that solar ascension, and then it won't work out, but you still got to go through it. Like I said, it's just another test, like anything else, but you still got to go through it. So that's how I look at that. And the good news is, if you did become one with your twin or whatever, hopefully, if what I'm saying is right about solar ascension, you two can learn about that and bring your life in harmony to do whatever you need to do to solar ascend, so that you don't have to keep reincarnating. All right. So at that time, because I said I was at that job for like 2.5 years, 3 years, and I'll tell you the different females that I did have some type of whatever with. There was a female that I was always around named Miss P, but she was like a soul member. Because my moon sign is Capricorn, and she is a Capricorn. And I'll make it real short about her. But she had some strange connections to another female I knew in the early 2000s that looked just like her. And that female was always with me too. But it was always the same thing. I just was not interested or attracted. Not that they, it's not that they were unattractive. I just was not attracted for whatever reason. But all this stuff keeps going back to past lives. That's all I'm saying. And it's a lot of weird synchronicities that I can't. The video would be too long. Then there's like another female that I was like I said, like the one I was kind of flirting with. But I just didn't want to go down that path no more, you know. And I'd already made up my mind. I didn't come there to really meet anybody. I came there to just work and just get out. Cause like I said, you gotta understand too, my heart pressure was real high, which is affecting your mind. It is affecting your mind as well. So I had a lot of things like that on, and I just wanted to, cause my earlier life was always doing for other people, doing for other people, doing for other people. So I just want to do for me. Go in, work, hopefully get some type of money or whatever. So that's what that was about. That's why a lot of people try to play mind games. But me, I've been doing it too long, so I don't really play with the mind games. So then she worked there a little bit, but those type of jobs, the turnover rate is very high. So you might see somebody on a Monday, but that doesn't mean you're going to see them on Thursday or whatever. So she was going, and then there was another Christian female that worked there, but me and her was cool like from day one. I just kept asking her like, cause I didn't know what soul families was, but I knew I had a connection to her, and she just reminded me of some of the people on my mother's side of the family. So I was always very like protective of her and stuff. But me and her we got real cool. Then we both knew about the Bible and all that, so we would talk about stuff like that. But even before I knew all that about her, me and her was always kind of cool. And then there was another female that was the same ethnic background of my twin, um, but me and her were just closer. Now me and her would have definitely been a connection. Like there would have been no stopping me for her, but she was already taken, so I stopped that immediately. And then there was a one female I took out to dinner for her birthday, and like I said, she was cool. She just had to. She was that type of female. She was old school though, but she was a little schizo, but she was cool. Like I've been around crazy people my whole life, so it didn't matter to me. But she's the type of female that you know, lead you one way and then kind of nutty. Like try to talk to three or four guys at one time in the same workplace and just crazy stuff. But then she would get mad if they did that to her. She want to fight. So me and her was real cool. She is cool people, but she had that weird stuff going on, and I was moving really slow for different reasons. For financial reasons, I was moving really slow, and then I was just moving slow because I came up on all that dysfunctional stuff, so I'm trying to get away from it. I like peace, to be quite frankly. If I could have peace, I prefer peace. I'm not with all that dysfunctional stuff. Been here too long. I really believe, for me, I'm only speaking for myself. I honestly believe after 30 years on this planet, it's enough. Because it becomes like a bad movie over and over and over and over again. But there are good times. There are good times. But it's just one of those things. Because they say, well, think positive and all that. But then, you just got to be careful. Because like I said, this twin flame thing can be very overwhelming. Very overwhelming. And I learned that for me personally, you have to stay grounded. Because even when I didn't even mess with emeralds. I didn't mess with emeralds, the gemstones, and nothing like that until twin flame. And now I learned that you have to really I listen to certain music, certain things I listen to, just certain things I do to stay grounded. Because this twin flame thing, it really f's with you. I mean, a lot of twin flames know I'm not lying. It'll really mess with you, dude. You gotta really change everything. You gotta really stay grounded. And like they'll still like I don't like they still tell me about her. Like I'll have some idea what's going on in her life, and I always did. Like I knew she was pregnant before she got pregnant. I knew she had some other dude she was kicking it with. Just the nature of life. I just know a lot of stuff that maybe she thought I didn't know, but I did know. And it was funny because she used to always walk, and when she would see me, she would pull. This is why she was such a liar. Because whenever she would see me, she would always try to pull her shirt like over her stomach, like when it first happened. So why, if you didn't care about me, or care about what I think, why would you care? You should be proud you're pregnant. If you don't care about me, you should be proud. But she would be trying to prove. She was just full of bullshit. Like she was just full of games. Everything she did, just full of bullshit. But that's why I said so. That's why I fell back for those reasons like that. That's why I fell back. And I still say that was like the best decision. That one of the best decisions I ever made. Was enough of the craziness. Um, So now, a long time ago, like in the last 5 years or so, when I was going through what's called the deep, and I was always, because I would be going to churches and stuff, and people say, well, you're in the deep. God has you in the deep. So I was trying to figure out what the deep is. This was like my walk into metaphysics. Now, after I tell you about this, I'm going to tell you how I benefited from the whole twin flame thing, and then what it taught me, and then we'll be done with this video. But first, I want to do with this. So anyway, I'm looking online for the deep. I come across this Christian writer, and she's a female, and she's a very attractive, quote, black, unquote, female. She's talking about the deep. I'm talking about the deep, so I'm kind of reading her book and all that. So I sent her a letter, her email or whatever I did, online contact. I sent it to her. I never heard from her. And then all of a sudden, when she was getting a divorce, that's when she wrote me. And it wasn't no BS though. This is what I like about her. There was no BS. She was a real Christian female. And I recently talked to her. I'll tell you what she said. But this is years before that. But I recently talked to her like 3 weeks ago. And so first thing I had to know was, well, is the divorce scriptural? Because you could say divorce all you want, but in the eyes of God, if it's not a scriptural divorce, He still considers you married. So I ain't want no problems with God. So was her divorce was scriptural, and she was giving me the opportunity to like be her guy or whatever, because she really liked what, because I didn't know she was with a guy. I just wrote how I felt, and but it moved on her, and that is how I felt. But then like I felt so, because she's like really travel, like she's right. She does conferences, but she would do conferences and she would send me emails and she would send me links. Like she would be on online conferences, so she would send me links. Like she was really cool. Like if I had just been a little bit more assertive, I would have been with her. But I was going through my own shit, especially this whole. I've been going through a lot of shit. Like I've been getting my supernatural. I've been getting my ass kicked, bro. It don't stop, but it comes with the territory. Like I'm not here. I'm sent, and I know that. And so just like all the shit Tupac went through, people trying to kill him, all the stuff he went through. Just think of all the stuff Tupac went through, because it comes with the territory. And so I just felt like no, I'm not the one for her, cause she's real classy, and she's traveling, and she's a book writer, and she's doing interviews and all that, and so I didn't really think I was ready for that. But we stayed in contact. She was always a good, and I brought her to my channel a couple of times. She's been out here in the early days of this channel, I think, too, as well. And so I wrote her recently, and then she wrote me. She wrote me back in like 2 or 3 days when she got the email, and she let me know. She was saying she basically said when I met her, she said I wasn't the Christian woman that I am now. That when I met you, but I don't know what I meant. That doesn't mean she did anything bad. It just means in her mind she didn't feel worthy or whatever. Because she like everybody else, she's been through a lot of shit too. And but she said she's more of a Christian woman now, and she said she's working at a job where the people that own the job, they have a son, and she feels that son is gonna be her husband, and because she feels that's what God told her. So I was happy for her. So I'll leave it at that. I won't add to it or take it away. But it's kind of funny how like I just thought about her, but she always kept it real. Like, and she's like, I know so many people, but she always kept it real and stuff. But at that particular time, I was like, nah, I don't know. And I think the only reason why I contacted her, because at that particular time, I thought, because I contacted her recently. So that's pretty cool. And So like I said, my twin would have to grow the heck up. And then that could take 10 years, like, I don't know. But she'd have to want to talk and stuff like that. And then I would have to chill because, she's just immature. But I would have to chill. Like, I can't expect her to be but who she is. But damn, at least we got to be able to talk. Why are we wasting time? And it would have to be, it would be rough for her because she would really have to learn how to communicate and stuff. Because like I'm saying, I'm that type of dude. I've been on this planet long enough and it's already hell. I would never commit to something that's only going to be more hell. Because you're already dealing with somebody who's got another guy, got kids by that guy and all that. And it's like, man, it'd be hell. So that's why when that thing failed, I was kind of glad. Like when I got fired, I was kind of glad because at least I ain't got to see her no more. So that's how I felt. But I still believe, I was being universally helped because that would have been some type of soul commitment or soul contract where when you talk about solar ascension, even if you just listen to the word solar, soul, like one only, soul, one only. Not saying twin flames can't ascend, but they have to really want it. Because that whole twin, they even call it twin soul, twin, it's a soul contact. So that's really connecting you back to solar reincarnation. And they even tell you that it's reincarnation. I'm not trying to reincarnate. I'm trying to solar ascend out of here, back to the source. And I'm a Leo, and my leader is the sun. So now let me tell you about the female. Final one. This is a true story. And it's almost like I almost don't even believe it. And I don't believe it. But I could feel it. See, I told you I have to feel it. If I don't feel it, dude, I don't care who talking. And it go way deeper than some eye contact and that silly shit. That's junior high school stuff. I'm a grown adult male. Don't care about no holding hands and all that eye contact unless it's with somebody I actually care that way about. So anyway, I was at this location, and it's one of those everybody's there and everybody's talking, but mostly everybody there is lying. It's like the Mr. Goodbar movie. Everybody's lying. So by chance, I meet this female really quick, and I have a way of asking deep questions. Now I don't remember everything that was exchanged, but basically I said to that person, "Are you really looking for something real, or are you like almost everybody else in here on some BS?" And so she basically said, really sincere, like, "I'm looking for something real." So I was like, "Okay, we'll see." But we was moving because there was a lot of people, so we was moving. And then I seen her, and she gave me a look like, "Hey, you supposed to be with me." And I thought that was so romantic. I thought that was so sweet. And I was like, man, I can't believe I'm believing this shit. But I was really feeling it. Like, and I do have intuition. I was like, I really could feel it. So we kept in contact really quick, but then we lost contact. But I remembered her like on her birthday, and her birthday just came. And like she went off. Like she's been trying to contact me like crazy. But I think it's so romantic. Like I don't feel like, oh damn, she's stalky. Because whatever happened, it had to have meant something. Because all of a sudden, around that birthday time, and it's not that she looking for a gift, dog. Come on, she ain't that hard, though. It's how the memory work. It's how the heart work. That's all I can tell you. It's how the memory work. It's how the heart work. But she went off. So I believe in that. I believe in love. I try to tell y'all that. Y'all don't get it. A lot of y'all don't get it. These cowards that be running, they don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. All they talking about, where's my twin? The universe. They don't want to hear the truth. And you're going to stay separated. Or you're going to hurt yourself even worse. Because I don't know about y'all, but once that hand holding starts and the kissing and all that start, and then to lose it, oh man, I might not even be able to function and shit. I'm a freaking Leo. We work off emotions. I'm like, I would never want that. That's why I don't even play with stuff like that. So what I tried to give you all in this video was twin flame stuff, where somebody comes out of nowhere, and it may come when you don't even know what a twin flame is, and all these demands are put on you, and you can't do your horoscope without them trying to tell you to get with this person. You can't do an angel card reading without them trying to tell you to get with this person. It's this heavy demand put on you and this person. But yet the people that go through that process, they still seem to end up in separation. Some might make it, but most don't. So you have to keep that into account. You have to find out, what can I do that, and the only thing I know is slow that stuff. Don't start that lovey-dovey stuff if you ain't ready for it. And you need more communication. I know that sounds soft and sorry, but I know jumping in the bed and having sex is not the answer. And for y'all to think it is, I feel sorry for you when you don't have it no more. Like, I was on a phone conversation with a guy, and that's what he did. He was with his twin. He said he used to get a lot of women. He said he was good at getting women, but then when it came time for his twin flame, like, the universe stopped it. So the universe stopped him from getting with any woman until his twin came. So the twin came and them two was getting it, but then his twin left. Separation, she left. And he said even after that, he still can't get no women. And he said he used to have no problem getting women. He said ever since that twin flame thing, it ain't happening. So that's some powerful energy. So I showed you that, and I showed you what's really needed for it to work. There's got to be some type of communication. Because I don't even want to talk to somebody. I mean, I can't even respect no female. Because if she's that quick to jump to have sex, she'd be ready to almost do that with anybody. And some females think, well, I'm with this guy. Yo, but you just met him. I know you're saying you're with him, but you look at you. You jump. You're having relations with him. You're having his babies. You're living with him. You're giving way too much too fast, and you ain't even really been with this dude for a good amount of time. You're doing all that, and that's why he's slow putting a ring on your finger. Cause the back of his mind is like, man, she gave that stuff up too fast. How could I be sure? He don't even trust you. So that's like somebody in the seventh grade, because that's what people do. Well, college too. Who's lying? 30, 40-year olds in corporate offices and stuff. Everywhere you go. Yeah, but it's not good. To that person, it was sweet though. Y'all know how good that made me feel though, because I told y'all when that happened, that night that shit happened, I told y'all. And it's the same female. And she sent me like mad. She blew my email thing up, yo. Like all kind of. I thought that shit was so sweet. And I know it wasn't phony because of the simple fact, if it was phony, she would have been doing it in the beginning. But it wasn't. How we met. That's how we met. We were just around a whole lot of people, and I just said that to her. I was like, are you here for the real? Are you here for, like everybody else, for the BS? And she was like, I'm here for the real and shit. And then that little connection started, and then I hooked up on her birthday, and then we just separated again. And then a year later, she like going crazy, like freaking crazy. So that's what I believe. That's what I live for. That's what I die for. That's real. See, that's real. I'm not saying, what I'm trying to help you all understand is the other shit. They even tell you that. Oh, you going into separation. So I'm saying, well, why the hell are you sitting telling me this is my twin soul, and you're going out of your way to put this person in my life only to go in separation, or have some other guy all up in the mix or some crazy shit? So it does come a time when you have to tell the universe no. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: I'm still a better person because I've helped a lot of people with my honesty, with my experience. For the first time, for a little bit, I was able to run things, answer to nobody but me. And my I'm uh that twin flame showed me exactly what I don't want. I don't need an immature person that can't communicate. I don't need a vindictive, going to pay you back, going to get you no matter how long it takes type of person, which is what she is. I don't need nobody bringing me all that dark, crazy BS that she brought. And I'm glad I never told her off, even though I wanted to, because it showed maturity. Because, like I said years ago, she would have never got away with that stuff. And I'm glad that I just sat back and let the universe work everything out, because it did. So that's why now I don't worry all the time. The universe will fill the need no matter how it does it. So I don't worry about, oh, how's this going to get paid or what's going to happen with this. The universe will fill the need as it sees fit. Whatever I need to do at that time to get it done, the universe will help me do it. And thanks to the other female, like I said, everybody's not on no third grade, fourth grade mentality. You just have to find a person who's a little mature. Not saying the world is going to be perfect, because you shouldn't expect perfection, because nobody's perfect. But you also, if you're a grown-ass man, you damn sure don't want to act like you're in third grade or fourth grade. Especially something as serious as relationships. So, I don't know if I moved anybody or touched anybody with this video, but the point I was trying to make is, my hero on YouTube is Angelica from Angel Star Creations, because she went through the same thing, the same pain and everything else. But she picked herself up and kept it going. And that's what I believe. And then you have the woman, I think she calls herself Mama Owl or something like that. And she was talking about her twin. And she was talking to him through us. She was talking to the viewers, but she was acting like she was talking to him. And she is like, listen, I'm a damn good woman. She said, you ain't gonna find no woman as good as me or somebody that loves you like I do. She said, you need to get your third dimensional bullshit together. And I just busted out laughing like, yep, I feel the exact same way. Like, your shit is fucked up, money. You got to get your shit together, because I'm not going backwards. I understand what you may be going through, but you made the choice not to talk. You made the choice to be angry and vindictive. You made the choice to get payback. Get your 3D shit together. And the bottom line is, if they're not ready, they're not ready. I don't care who breaks. We've already proven that. Y'all don't know how many times, and I would know. I'm trying to tell y'all I would know, because the universe would tell me. And they would always put her right next to me. And it got to the point, I'm not lying to you, I wish I want to see her. I'm going here, make sure she's there. And when I would get there, she'd be right there. And I know so many twin flames would say that. Like, they'll know in a dream. They tell each other in a dream, and they'll be there. They'll go. That's telepathy. So she saw the same stuff I did. And we also had a dream. I know we had at least one dream where we both know that it was a dream. But she saw all that, and she still went into not just separation, but acting like she didn't want it. But then when she couldn't get it, she acted like she did want it. But that's twin flame too. Separation, runner, chaser. She was on some little girly, like really immature stuff. So I just have to be honest with you. I'm always gonna be me. And there's been so many attempts to make me change. Nah, I'm not gonna change. I love life. I love God. I love the truth. I love helping people. And I don't subscribe to this third dimensional punk ass bullshit. But I acknowledge that it's very powerful, and it is the way things are. But I don't have to subscribe to it. I personally don't have to subscribe. And I thank you that God and the angels are helping me. And again, as far as my twin is concerned, if she ever wanted to have a conversation, I'm always ready. I won't even bring up the past. I don't even care about it no more. But that's a choice she has to make. And unfortunately, I think she's so effed up by this third dimensional world that it would take years for her to really grow up to actually have a conversation. And life does go on. And there is love. And I feel sorry for people that are so hard up that all you talk about is your twin. Because it's obsession. You should only be talking about your twin if there's some type of solid evidence that that person is coming back in your life. Otherwise, you should be doing you. You could be growing spiritually or growing whatever you do, but you don't have to be, where's my twin? Why ain't my twin with me? And blah, what do I, blah, 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 blah. I mean, definitely study it to make sure you understand what twin flame is, runner chaser dynamics, the stages of twin flame. Make sure you understand all that stuff, and I go out of my way to make sure you know it. But once you know all that stuff, there's nothing else you could do. It's like you might live in a bad area, so you say, I got to get a gun, but I want to learn self-defense and learn a gun. Okay, well, you can do all that, but you really ain't supposed to be firing that gun in public unless there's a real reason. Or you ain't really supposed to be using self-defense unless you really need to use it. That's why they call it self-defense. You're defending yourself or your family or something. So with that whole twin flame thing, the thing is like, I'm ready. I'm 100% ready. I would love to have talked to her, but she chose not to. And all that other stuff she talking about is crazy. Is based on BS. But at the same time, when you're dealing with a person like that, that's what you're gonna have. False accusations, misunderstandings, and negative thinking. But if I could get to my little Missy, I would. But it was just funny how that happened. Y'all don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. That was just like that was like two ships passing in the night, and it happened so quick. And I never thought, I didn't know. I was just talking chat. 'Cause I was just seeing how fake the people were, and I figured, well, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for the fake stuff. And I asked her, was she really about it, and she was like, yeah, she was. And she went on to prove it pretty much. So I mean, unbelievably. So that's pretty cool. So that's what I talk to. I talk to people like that. At least have some idea what you want. I'm not saying we got to be all committed and serious and whatever, but don't be on a third or fourth grade mentality, and don't be thinking negative when there's no negative. You're just thinking negative because there's something going on. Because I can't help you. You don't want to talk. You want to think negative, and then you want to attack me, and I've never done nothing to you. Those are my last words to my twin. I've never done anything to you. Like, you treat me like garbage. But who knows? In a past life, maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe it was karma. I really don't know. So that's what's up. God bless.